Every month, one lucky subscriber to my channel will win a 30-minute reading from me. Go ahead, click on the subscribe button and the bell icon to receive notification of my next video. Hi, and welcome to Sandy's Numerology. South Africa is born on the 31st of May 1961. That is when we became a republic. In 2019, since 2018 May to 2019 May, South Africa is 57 years of age. We will be in an 11 personal, and out there in the public we're in a 3-year, because 57 adds to a 12, which adds to a 3. If we are voting before that date, the 11 personal shows how there is a lot of splitting, of changing sides, of forming partnerships with others. But there is a divide here, and yet an 11 is asking South Africans to have a future focus, a higher focus for the betterment of the country. And if we create the split, that's a negative. But if we join hands and we formulate partnerships, this would be very positive. Now, what happens when an entity has a birth date 2 months before the turn of the birth date? The next year's numbers start to gain some kind of energy. So if we go back to the 31st of March of 2019, this 11-2 starts to find its feet, and yet it starts to soften its energy, and we go into a 3 personal, and age-wise we will be the age of 58. What is important here is that 11-2 until May 31st, in forming the partnerships, this can be where parties who do not have many seats might form an alliance with another party. Because we go into a 3 from May, and the energy starts from the 31st of March, we go into this 3 personal, where I've always felt that there could be some kind of collective membership that is running South Africa. So there won't necessarily be a one-party win. COPE currently have 3 seats, the Congress of the People, and interesting, are in an incredibly good year in 2019. But they are the ones to form that collective. So they will join with more than one other party. So whoever 2 parties need, and they need a third, COPE would be the kind of party to actually identify themselves, to be willing to get into the collective. Definitely feel they're going to gain more seats. So I go to the National Freedom Party. They currently have 6 seats. Internally in 2019, so they're born on the 25th of January, internally there's no balance there, and there's a bit of a problem, and that 11 would be how the National Freedom Party, because it's an 11 and before voting in May of next year, could form an alliance with somebody. They're not in a bad year. The Freedom Front Plus has 4 seats and a little bit directionless at the moment. And I think that they will actually put themselves out into the public eye on a greater scale than they have done in the past. The ACDP, African Christian Democratic Party, has 3 seats. And internally, until December of 2018, there's a lot of politicking and power games going on inside of the party. There's a lot of difficulties. There's also financial mismanagement. And yet, once they put themselves out into the public eye, they could actually become a little bit more visible. But you're going to be finding out about a few things that have been going on inside of the ACDP. The AIC, the African Independent Congress, which has 3 seats, I feel have got a huge problem in 2019. They are born on the 12th of the 12th, 2005, and there's something about them out there in the public eye that says that they are stuck. There's a downsize, so I feel that they could actually lose seats. Agang, South Africa, has 2 seats. Again, for Agang, they also have internal financial mismanagement and internal politicking going on. But they could form an alliance with somebody that they've worked with before, but that difficulty is going to be a slight problem for them in 2019. African People's Convention, they only have 1 seat, and unfortunately I don't believe that they can even retain that 1 seat. But if they do retain that 1 seat, they are definitely forming an alliance. And then the PAC, the Pan-African Congress, one of the oldest parties, besides the ANC, there's so much difficulties going on. They've got 1 seat and there's no power here. There's a lot of the old school in the PAC that needs to actually transform and become a part of the 21st century. But there's a lot of difficulties, and I don't believe they're going to gain much traction in 2019. United Democratic Movement currently have 4 seats. And funny enough, they're slightly on track with COPE, so that could be interesting. But internally, there's a split within them, and they need to find their feet by March of 2019. But they also go into a collective year. So that would be interesting to see if they join hands with COPE. Inkatha Freedom Party currently have 10 seats, born on the 21st of March 1975. Strong. Age is 44, from 2019, right out there communicating, a bit aggressive, and hopefully not necessarily going to create any form of violence or anything like that, but right out there and communicating. They are run by Mangosuthu Buthelezi, 27th of the 8th, 1928, and something's not right here. And with due respect to his age, he is 90 years of age. I feel that he needs to look at who is going to be standing up for the party if he decides to step down or for another reason. So I'm really concerned about Mangosuthu Buthelezi and a health factor. But there's going to be some kind of shift and change, and he is so in sync with his own party. The Democratic Alliance, the DA, born on the 24th of June 2000, has 89 seats. It's headed by Mmusi Maimane, born on the 6th of March 1980. And if you look on my YouTube, there is a program on the DA already, and they are a 5 life path. They're in their life path in 2018 through to June of 2019, and we're seeing all of the internal politicking and power games, and with Patricia de Lille, but there is some other things that are still happening there, and a discovery and disclosure is still there, and this is harming the DA. And this conflict that's going on within, it needs to get cleaned out, and get cleaned out quickly, but it won't. Not until probably, it'll regain its focus from about April of next year, but only gain traction in that in December of next year. So I'm having a little bit of difficulty about their power and how they maintain their power, because their name is being sullied by themselves. But I see that by June of next year, they've regained their focus. They're putting themselves out there. They're wanting to lead and drive. They will be joining hands with the connections from the past that they've connected with before. And they did connect with the EFF when we did our municipal elections. But Mmusi Maimane is in a year of the gameplay on the internal side. And I think he's dancing with the problems that are going on in the DA. But he's going into an incredibly public year in 2019 where he's going to be so engaging. And he is on track with South Africa. And he could easily be forming that collective with a couple of other parties. But a heads up on the DA, you have to get your act together. We go to the ANC, which was founded on the 1st of August 1912, and until January of 2019, they're in an 11 personal, which is the split, which, as I've spoken before about where Cyril is, he's born on the 17th of November 1952, and he's also in an 11. So with the split and him trying to get people to join hands, and the rumor of trying to get Malema into the ANC, I think it'd be more to actually get a hold of him, which I doubt that the EFF will want to join hands with the ANC unless Malema gets a really powerful position. But Cyril is so engaging, and he's got that moon face, which is with a smile, and he's friendly, and he's actually good with the people. He's going into an incredibly good year from November of 2018 to 2019, where he's going to be right out there and social. The ANC in 2019 is going into a collective internal year, and it's going to be quite aggressive out there in the public eye in 2019. But the thing that is the problem for the ANC is that it's a 4 life path. And in 2020, they hit their life path, which means that the ANC goes into depression, and this restructuring from the ANC and the cleaning of house and getting back to its base, but to bring it into the 21st century is going to be a very difficult thing for 2020 and 2021 for the ANC. So I believe that Cyril's going to have the right engaging approach to getting the people out there to vote. And he's got to be careful, because he is the president of South Africa, but he always speaks about his party. He needs to understand, he needs to talk to the collective. when he's at an ANC conference, he can talk, and yet they are the majority party. So there's a bit of conflict about where he stands. And we saw before when he was deputy president, and he was very supportive of Zuma, and he didn't stand up, which I think is one of the greater downfalls and disappointments of Cyril Ramaphosa. I still think he can gain some kind of traction, but there is the word position and title from his birthday in 2019 is going to shift dramatically. Does he get voted again as the head of the ANC with this restructuring from inside? Is he going to take hold of the reins, remain there, and change that whole old system into for the people and not for the power of the internal? Will be very, very interesting. The EFF, they have 25 seats. So we have a problem here, because being born on the 26th of July 2013, they're currently in a personal year of there's miscommunication going on within the EFF. Externally is negative publicity, arrogance, doing this whole land expropriation. They are in a huge problematic year, and Floyd Shivambu is triple fires with the 5 life path. And he's been caught with this attacking a journalist, etc. So there's been a few problems there. But the EFF is in a really, really difficult year. It's, as much as the DA has got its internal politics, they are showing their politics on an external level, and they're in the year of discovery and disclosure. So there's no hiding of anything. And the difficulties are going to escalate and get even higher by May of next year in 2019. And it's going to be quite sad that their focus is only going to return around May, June, July of next year, and only gain some kind of traction by March of 2020. But if we go to Julius Malema, he's born on the 3rd of the 3rd, 1981. Manipulative, game playing. He's got the gift of the gab. He is very acidic in many ways. He's got a 7 life path. There is such incredible insecurities that he grew up with. But he's going into a 9/11 year, and so around the home front it's kind of coasting along. But his age is going to be 38. Legal, and more legal. So there's going to be him being highlighted because of all of the legal stuff and how he is not speaking the truth about money that was given to him to pay his SARS, how being involved with companies when he shouldn't have been. So he's going into a year of age 38, 39, 40 and 41, which is all just tripping himself up about so many things. But because of his age being a 38, he could also be wanting to form an alliance. But I think that he's out of the line of forming an alliance necessarily with the ANC. So what I've done is I've looked at the year that each political party is in, not the head of the party, only the party, their date of birth, to see who could form alliances or get into this collective and join seats to actually create a stronger voice and power within Parliament. ANC and COPE are on track. COPE and the UDM is on track. The DA is on track with EFF. The DA is on track with Achang. The DA is on track with Inkatha. The ANC is on track with Inkatha, but I don't ever see that happening. The UDM and NFP are on track. So it's quite interesting how all of this works, because the EFF are not on track with anybody but the ANC or the DA and the AIC. So it'll be very interesting, where I really believe that there's going to be alliances and a collective that is running South Africa in 2019. Thank you for watching Sandy's Numerology. Go ahead, click on the subscribe button and the bell icon to receive notification of my next video.